6 ephemera ideas, 5 artists. That's the challenge today. Today I'm making 6 pieces of ephemera, so 6 embellishments for a folio with 4 other artists as part of a challenge that's been set by Barbara 49dragonflies. I'm making envelopes with expanding pockets, a little journal with a glue book page cover, a few little junky notebooks and some dangling journaling cards. This is part of a collaboration, and to be honest, I think I've probably done it again and I'm feeling a little bit stressed. There's quite a lot to do. The other channels in this collaboration are amazing. So we have Andrea from Arty Maze, we have Martina, that's Teal and Tattered, and also the lovely Louise Heinsel. I have some awesome papers to play with today. So these are from Barbara's new kit called On My Desk. And of course what I want to do today is do my very best to explain the process that I do when I'm creating the embellishments and just really explain it for you. You don't need to have these papers to play, and I would really invite you to create something along with me and maybe use something that you have. If you've been here to my channel before, you'll know that I don't like stress. I like things to be calm, and I like us all to feel that we can do it too. So I have some steps here written down to follow if you'd like to take a screenshot, and if you'd like to see if I succeed or fail, then just keep watching. So the first thing I want to do is use some of these gorgeous papers to make a collage in my glue book. So these are some of the papers that I've chosen from Barbara's new kit On My Desk, and I'm looking at the colours and the patterns, and I'm trying to get something that might be sort of cohesive across a collage page. I like this one with the fawn colours on, and the browns, really like the strength of colour there, and I also like the idea of having a check on it, and the blues, so slightly different colours on that one, but I think they go together. And I'm also thinking of mixing it with some other papers that I've got that I had printed out, because these are also about script and font and post, and I felt like that went with the theme On My Desk. So I've got some papers here, but I also have handily one of my little collections of similar small pieces of paper in beautiful muted colours of old book page and some teals and greens. So I'll use those in my collage, and then in front of me I have a pouch here with a mixture of book pages in. So the idea is that I take my glue book, which I've been really enjoying filling, and I'm going to do a page in this, which means I will create something that I can then use to make, I'm hoping, a diddy little junk journal, so a piece of ephemera for Barbara's folio. And for that reason, because I have to post it and Barbara asked, I'm not going to make it too thick, but I'm going to use some of these gorgeous papers. So these are some of the pages I've done so far. And the idea behind this glue book is it's not meant to be preserved forever. It's meant to create some beautiful images that we can cut up, so landscape I call it, as opposed to a particular page with a focal point. And I'm going to cut this up probably across here, fold this to make a little booklet, and then use some images from the bottom half to make into little journaling cards, so akin to maybe the little bird journaling cards that I made a while ago. So these were on book page substrate, and I like the design, so I might bring some birds into this, and I'll probably use some of the images from the kit as well. So I thought I would get going with this step first. Let's just go to the process. Mildly organised today. Collage a page in my glue book and then let that be drying while I do some of these other things. So let's just have a bit of a play, get some collage down on here on one side. I've got quite a liquid glue here, so that's going to help me. And what I'm going to do to begin with is a bit of ripping of some of these. I really love these. These greens and blues are a bit different. I want to get some images onto the collage. As I say, that's going to be a journal cover. So why don't we just go for it and see what happens.
I'll do my under-over technique, so a bit of glue along the edges, but not yet in the middle. Quite a nice chunky piece there. I've not done this before, so not only is this slightly pressured because I need to do this in a reasonable amount of time, I want to do a good job of explaining things. I do try to do that, and also I need to create something that is worthy of the little journal cover that we'll use this for. Rid of some of that. This goes really well, doesn't it? There's a colour there. Do we want it, I think, along the side? Yeah, a little bit of pressure. Don't know why I say yes. I say yes to too many things. Do you do that? Do you, in the moment, say yes to something and then sometimes think, not sure I can do that? How does that work? So that's on. And what else have we got in our little pile? See, lots and lots of bits and bobs here. Lots of bits of lovely things. All sorts. I'll get some text on, I think. I think that goes along with the idea of on my desk with a pen, writing. To that under there. Yeah. Bit of under over, so I'll just get glue in the middle. Yeah, so this is going to be drying, so I can make something with it, a little booklet and those journaling cards. See as much of that script as possible, just pull that down, can go there. So something in here. Let's go back to, let's get some dictionary page in. That's always lovely, isn't it? In the sense of an office desk, perhaps. So maybe I'll have that at the bottom. Yeah. It's a big piece. I'll get it down and then I can always cover a bit more up. So what I'm going to be doing is posting these 6 items, there might be a few more, to Barbara, and she's going to incorporate them into a folio. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. It's always enjoyable to see what other people create with the same brief. There we go, get that under. Looking better. And what was the other sheet? So this one has, I guess that's washi tape. I really like these ink pads and a stamp, I think. A bit of that on there. Is it meant to be that way up? There's the type. No, I feel it's that way up. So I love the colours. Quite gentle. Glue along the edge. So there's a degree of planning I've tried to do, to at least know the main steps, but inevitably with something like this, with a challenge like this, I really like how that's coming together. I think something up there. Better, filling in a gap. I think we'll have some age book page. Oops, that was a bit too much. Yeah, that's better. Just get rid of that straight edge. So this is the long pole in the tent, if that makes sense. One of the things that I need some time for it to dry a bit, so I thought I'd get this going first. And I might even get some script on there in a minute. What else have I got? Is that a dragonfly? If it is, it just needs a bit of a home. Let's have a bit of this. Bit of cheeky red. To just peep out. I certainly wouldn't know what a collage was going to turn out like before I finish, but what I do like to do is try to have just a little bit of colour coordination, just a little bit of play with my pattern. And it's always a function of whatever I have sitting around me when I start the process. So I have surroundings, I have some surroundings of papers. I reach for them. I'm not going to get out of my chair and run around my room looking for stuff. So inevitably, whatever I put in front of me, those are going to be the ingredients that get incorporated into the picture. And it's just one of the most absorbing and satisfying things to do. Well, I think so. What do you think? What would be your favourite project? What is top of your list at the moment to have a go at playing at? That'd be interesting to know. So I've got pretty much all of the page covered up. There's a little bit peeping out there. I think we'll just do something with that. And a little bit of, I want contrast. I want contrast. Let's have a tiny bit text from that. In fact, I think I'll break up this as well. Just a bit too much of that white. So we'll have that there, and I'll have it over the top. I'm just going to put something in there. So maybe put some spots of faux ink on this. I really like that. That can go in under there. I might end up doing some sewing on this as well. We'll see what it needs. I think I'll just tuck a few of these in. And what I'm going to do is also incorporate a bit of black and white. So I've picked up some text from an Artie Mays digi. And these I use a lot. So these are some really great little phrases, but what I really like about them, not only do they have sort of 3 words, which works really well in, a lot of them have 3 words, 2 or 3, in a little sentiment, but I really like the type font and I like the black and white. So follow your dreams, follow your heart, because these will pop out when we come to cut up this page. These will pop onto our various journaling cards and the cover. So I'm going to have that up there. So I'm just thinking about positioning a little bit, and I think that works so well with the bottle of ink. What do you think? I don't want to overdo it, but I am going to reach into a little collection, a few more items I had on my page, and just add something extra. Yeah, down there. I think these also came from an Artie Mays digi, but you could also use book pages, so you can cut things out of book pages. That can go on there because that's going to end up on a journaling card at the bottom. And maybe one more sentiment down here. I'm quite excited now about what this is going to look like when I cut it into pieces. So I really enjoy making pages in this glue book. What I want to do is also get the benefit of it when it's being filled. So I think that is probably it. Something I've been thinking about doing is adding texture on top. So I'm going to have a little play to add something, because I've got time for it to dry, with some new paints. So I have on my desk here some acrylic colours in some incredibly gorgeous metallics, and I think I'm going to do some damage with the Aztec Gold. I'm going to take a little bit of this. So this is Aztec Gold. It has mica in it. It's A704. It comes in a larger set. I'll show you the box. It's all of my favourites apart from greens. I love green. 8 acrylic colours Arteza, precious metals, non-toxic. They're 120ml, so they're the biggies. And if if I just open the box, you get 8 of them in here. So there's all sorts of others. There's silver, pearl deep brown, bronze, pearl white, so incredibly useful, and another gold. So all of the colours that I've been going through at a huge rate. And I'm going to just put a little bit of texture. I'm going to do some smooshing. I've got an acrylic block here. And I'm just going to put a few little dots, very little, on there. Put a little bit of spray of, this is actually a diluted acrylic mix anyway, with water. And I'm going to take this and smoosh across very light-handedly. So see if I can do that. I think I'll start here. I'm actually going to go over the top, and if it touches that's fine, and if it doesn't touch that's fine, because I don't want a blob to have that smooshing. The idea behind this is I'm trying to get a little bit more of that vintage aged desk feeling. Okay, now that it's on, I want it to drag across. So I'm just going left to right, I'm not going up and down, and I'm okay with that. There's not too much at all. I think I really like that. Let's just have a little look. When that dries, we're going to have that absolute bounty of metallic working with the on my desk theme, that aging. Now I have my collage page in my glue book, I can move on from step 1 to step 2, which is distressing a few more images so that I can then cut them out and pop them into some of the other embellishments that I'm making. So for step 2, I'm going to have a go at distressing some of the images that are in this kit, and I just pulled out, I printed out some of the pages. That's actually a really nice one. I love this airmail style pattern there. What I actually did was I had a look at them and decided they were too white when I printed them, so if I were to cut these out and put them onto some of my projects, I just felt it would be too much like looking at modern paper. So I'm trying to build again that vintage feel into the on my desk patterns and images. This one's good. I really like this pencil case here, and I like this ink bottle. There's the bottle of ink we had in the other collage piece, and that's a beautiful fountain pen. I am a bit of a fan of fountain pens, as you can see, so I do really like this collection. And the other page, if I can dare to say my favourite page in this kit, is this collection of little postcards, and I don't know if they're receipts or bills or invoices. Really love that. So what I did before I started filming was just have a play with that smooshing technique so that I could enhance some of these, and I really loved how it came out. This one worked really well with some golds and this colour, which is called Pearl Marmalade, so I thought I'd show you how I do that. And I'm going to cut these out and make them into little notebooks, so we'll do that later, but at least that's dry for us to play with. So I'll have a go on this one. There's a little bit of technique again, and I might have a go on one of these as well. And for this one I need a gold colour, and I'm going to go for something a bit darker, and I'm going to put a few of my little dots on again. Just really small amounts, less is more on this one, because it's very easy to be heavy-handed when we're putting the acrylic block down onto the paper. So I just did a tiny bit of practice before. So I've got some colours on there. I think what I will do, this is just printed onto copy paper. This one I did, this one that I really like that I'm going to use for the front of notebooks is actually on 160 GSM paper, so a bit thicker. I'm going to put some of my diluted acrylic water, but just plain water would be fine. Get that nice and wet, and then smoosh from left to right very light-handedly. Happy with the dots of water dropping. What I don't want is a great big blob in one place. Just going across, and then once most of the paint has come off the acrylic block, I can start to be a bit more heavy-handed as I move from left to right or right to left. and it spreads out, it dries quite quickly, and I just get this gorgeous quantity of a couple of different styles of bronzy gold coming through, and I'm happy with that. I would just let that dry. And these are the images that I smooshed again with the Aztec Gold and the Pearl Marmalade, and I'm just getting that beautiful effect on them. This one I added a slightly darker grey in to give it a bit more distress, so I think that works really well. In step 3 I want to make a couple of little envelopes, and the envelopes I want to make today will be something like this. So these are some that I made previously. They have a pocket in the middle that comes out, but on each of these what I want to do is, there's an example, add collage using the same On My Desk papers to the inside. So they will be within the theme of the On My Desk design, and I'll have the pocket in the middle, and maybe I can pop something in that, and I'll make one with a closure so that can tuck underneath. Each of them have got an extra pocket on the back, so you can either stick that onto the page or put something in it. The other design I want to make up today is one like this. So this has, if I just show you, a thread here that goes round it, so it's more like a little packagey parcel, and I've varied the colours. So let's have a go at pulling off some book pages and putting that together. And I'm going to use some of the images that we have been distressing. So there's the book. So I'm going to use a couple of images to augment the collage on the inside. So a couple from these which are now dry. And for each of these little envelopes I need from a book page 2 pages. And let's tear them off. Oh, that's quite tough. 2, 3, 4. So 2 per envelope. And what I've done to help you and me is just dig out the steps that I put together on a little page here when I actually made each of these envelope pockets. So I'm going to be just referring to this to help me, because I can't always remember everything I make in detail. Sometimes I think it's really useful to be able to go back to these. So I'll link the relevant video in the video description box to this down below if you want to watch a whole video on making these step by step. And in that video you'll also be able to take a screenshot of all of the instructions, which is what I've been trying to do in my recent videos. So we'll start by, we've taken 2 book pages, we're going to do some folding. Let's see if I can do it. Take a couple of these. Take one of these side upright as if you were reading it. Turn it over and then fold this up a bit more than a third, and just by eye is absolutely fine. So maybe about there. And then I am going to fold this top flap back, but not quite as far as the top of what's going to be the front. So you can see I've got, maybe you can't, just a tiny bit showing. That just allows me to tuck a few things in and not have a level of resistance from anything that comes at the front. So pull that up, fold it over, and that's going to be our top flap. So that's going to be our envelope flap here. So what I need to do now is just fold in these, and I use the text to just help me get each of these folds, these corner folds, identical to each other. You could use some kind of ruler to check. I'm just using the text and making sure I cover up the same amount of text. Fold like that, and that will be the top of our flap. So I will just glue that down a little bit here, a little bit here. I'll do that quite neatly. All is good. So far so good. And then I'm going to make the pouch that goes on the inside. So I'll do the same again. I do like it when we get graphs on paper. It's just something special. Let's keep that held down. So I want to bring that towards me, and then fold this up, but I don't want this to be taller than the height of this. So I'll go to about there and fold, and then I'm going to take this and fold it back because I'm going to tear the top off. I'm beginning to remember what I did a few weeks ago. It's not too bad. Fold that back, and I'm actually going to tear this piece off like that. This gives me a pocket. It's going to go on the inside. I need to dig out my Prit for that. I'm going to put a line of Prit vertically on the back of this piece. So it's going to go inside like that. And I want it to be in the middle, so shorthand, just fold it over, make a bit of a fold so I can see. That goes on there. These are really easy, and you can adapt them to whatever your theme is as well, and that's why I thought they'd work well today. So whatever papers you're using, I think this will work. Flatten that down, and then I'm just going to run a little bit of glue up and down the inside of this inner pocket that we've created, and then fold that in, and that gives me an expandable pocket like that. And I can use my papers to just collage here and here. So I think what I'll do, actually I want to use this back piece too, don't I? It's always the piece that I forget. So this is going to go on the back, down here. So again what I'll do, maybe with my liquid glue, just glue that on. So I want glue close to the edge, down the side, along the bottom and up. Whoops. And then that can go on the back. I hope I've got that the right way up. And that gives us something, if you wanted to, you can tuck something in there. So press that down, let that dry, and I'll just make another one. So I've got my basic pockets. What do I need to do to turn one of them into one of these and one of them into one of these? So we need to add a closure hole or an eyelet. Let's do each of those, and then we'll move on to the collage. So here I want a hole. Grab my crocodile, and I'm going to make a hole with the correct part. I think I'll do this, just eyeball the centre, make a hole, and I can put an eyelet in there. Here's my eyelets, gorgeous colours of gold, silver and rose gold, so a great choice. These are from Amazon. Oops, lost one there. So that goes in, and I'll just crunch it down like that. And on the second one I think I just need to add the eyelet hole because I'm going to do a bit of painting. So the eyelet hole, let's take a pencil there, and I have my string ready for making my mini journal later using the glue book page. What I'll do in the meantime is just make a hole for one of my little closures. That can go through there. I think what I can do now is a little bit of painting and then the collage. I'm going to use my paints that I've started using. These are Kuretake paints. They're from Stationery Pal, and if you have a look in the description box you might find a discount code for these. They're super creamy. There's a small number of colours, but I find that they're really vibrant and easy to use, so I thought they'd work well, and they will be great for quickly whipping up the front decoration here. And I'm going to pick maybe the blue and green here, because if we take a look at the colours in this paper, I think I'm really enjoying these bluey greens, and I've got some blue here, and then also we've been using the browns on this sheet, so I just feel like that would bring it together. And also of course my little pieces of collage paper are in that family, that palette too, so I have a chance at this feeling really quite good. I'm feeling good already. Let me have a go at adding very quickly, my stalks and some leaves, and I don't mind if there's a bit of artistic interpretation on these leaves and that they're blue, because I actually quite like, it's about that, I quite like blue leaves. Unrealistic, but lovely. What do you think? So I've got my water here, and I will begin with a little dip into some brown. See how quickly that becomes creamy. Love it. Maybe a bit of this. Hold my cover down and just do a few swipes. And as we go into autumn, I think these are really, really great projects to have a go at. You can start to have a play with your paints and your brushes and having a go at branches. A few little, dip into the black there, get some darker brown. That's nice. Doesn't take long. And I'll just pull that up and then carry on with this. So there's a sense that it's all joined up. I hope so anyway. Okay. Number one. Do the same on this one. So this is going to be the one with thread around it. We'll do our branch. And I've already got my eyelet in place, which is good. So just a few sweeps and a few smaller ones. A bit of black for detail, comes out as nice dark brown, like that. A nice little brush. I'll do the same down here. And then I'll just dip into those greens and blues and turn these into leaves. Not much thinking going on. A bit of black for detail, contrast, like that. Okay, come back to this one. And I don't even mind if it's not dry, it will keep going. I'm going to dip into my blue. We'll do some blue and we'll do some yellowy green. Yummy. So, up. So I'm trying to get something related to maybe this one over here. These gorgeous greens and blues. That's what's in my mind as I'm just doing a bit of dipping around, and I probably should mix them on a palette, but I'm just going to go for it. That's nice. And then with these brushes, these are Zen Art brushes, it's just about press and come up. There we go. Press and come up. A few little dibs and dabs with the end. A bit more blue. Yeah. I'll just open that up so I can get at the flap and do the same. Bit here. What I'm going to do is pick a few images, I think, and enhance this so it follows the on my desk theme. A bit of yellow. What I did on the envelope pockets the first time I did them was splat them with gold, but I think I'll just pass this time. That will do for one. And I will do the same on this one. Down, splat, press down, come up, press down and come up. I've been taking photographs when I go on my walks in the morning, so I take the dog a walk, and I've been taking pictures and then looking on my phone, and I take close-ups. It's just with a mobile phone, nothing special, and seeing how the images change and how we're seeing more and more of the branches and the colours are changing. I think what I'm going to do is play in my glue book inspired by the colours that are changing around me. So if you're interested, I will share some of those images each month so that you can see what I'm seeing. So if you're interested in just seeing that and being inspired by the colours of nature, so it's just the English countryside, let me know. You may not be, and that's fine too. There we go. So I think what I'll do while that's drying, can't really collage until it's dried off a bit, is I'm going to pull out some of these. These are going to be the fronts of my little notelets, and I think I will just cut these out. I might have to go back in with a dryer and dry that off, but let's have a go at doing some cutting. These are gorgeous, aren't they? I love the ones with the text on the front, and I like the one that looks like it's an airmail letter. So we'll just make up a few little notelets with these. There we are. So we've got enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 there to play with. I think what I'll do is I'll dry these off and then we can do the collage in the centre. So I've dried them off with a heat gun. They're dry enough for me to be able to collage on the inside. And just before I do that, I'm going to add a little label down here in this space. That can go on there. Maybe something similar on this one. So just something in neutral colours really is what I want here. Nothing that competes with the main theme from the kit. That's okay. And for the one that I'm going to put a closure on like this, I need to put that on now so that the inside isn't visible when I add my collage. So I will take one of my little circles that I've made, had some fun with these, maybe again a gold one. I need a hole in that, in the centre, and I might use a gold brad, let's be decadent. So I have my gold brads, and I'm going to put, don't want it to be too big, nothing too showy, but I do think these gorgeous gold ones are absolutely fantastic. These are from Amazon too. That's going to go through there, so that that's on, and then we'll do the collage on the inside and just cover this up, and that will be super neat and tidy. Just splay that, put that down there. So now I can have the fun of doing the collage, and I'm going to collage here and here, so let's show you. I'm going to collage with my lovely papers here and here, so we'll have a go at that on both of them. And also I'm going to have a play with some of the images that are cut out from that set of images that we distressed a bit. So can't really go wrong at this stage. I want lots of image, and taking that area off, I want a lot of this. Get that on there. Extremely useful collage and so much fun. That can go on there. And I think before I stick this edge down, I'll get some other papers in there. Maybe a bit of that in there. Got writing on this one here, I like that, so I think I will steal a bit of that. I'm not going to put this image on because I feel like I've got a focal point here, so I'm going to use something that's a bit different. So the script on this one, and that can go there. So when I put my collage down, I am thinking what role each of the little pieces of paper play, and trying not to have too many pieces playing the same role. That's the way I think about it. Go there. This is a children's book. Oh, there's green on the outside. Might have to have, yeah. Never be scared of adapting your plan as well. So I'm going to have that on. Can go on there. Tuck that under while the glue is wet. I really like that. I'll just tear that up at the side. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think I'll have a bit more. It's a bit heavy. That's better. Before that goes down, whoops, a bit more on here, like that, and then before, that says leaf, which is great, because we've got leaves out here. I'm going to bury them, I'm going to put one of my items on there, one of my little images. Where should that go? Oh, that works well down there. A little ink bottle next to the check. That's good. Yes, like it a lot. That needs just finishing down there. I'll do another one. Okay. Oh, I really like it. All the greens and the gold. I think what I'm just going to do, because I can't resist and I'm in full flow, is think about that on there. I think this is one of Andrea's birds, and I think it goes with those leaves, and I don't think there's a contradiction between the bird and the theme of On My Desk. I just think that works. So he's going to be under there. Okay, you open it and you see him, and then you've got that. And what I'll do is just collage on the inside of the second one. Go there. I've got some packing paper, that's always helpful, and I've stamped on it. So I think I'll get going down here. I'll just tidy up at the sides in a minute. Right, in full flow. There's the rest of those images. So we've got some of that. In fact, I've seen this text. I'm not going to leave that out. I'll have a bit of that. Yeah, oh, just tremendous. Okay, straight line alert. Straight line, which means I will do some covering up of that. I've got, oh, it's coming together. A little blue there, and I need to break up this piece here. That's too similar in colour. I found a piece that is just absolutely tremendous. So what can we do with that? It's handmade paper, I think. That's just amazing. So I'm going to have to use that. Cheeky and spotty and perfect, because I'm going to put my little bottle of ink on down here. Yes, modern but still works, I think. Love the colours, got the blues. What about a couple of features? We'll have the ink bottle, ink glue bottle down here, covering up that straight line. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And my little blue down here. So I think I need something here. What I forgot on my desk. That's too heavy. It's too much. I'm going to break that up. May not be upright, but I quite like it. So I just don't want that to be quite such a long line. So why don't I tuck that under? I like it. I'm going to add my bird on the front, and it brings together this label and the leafy area too. So I'm covering up some of the edges, but I'm bringing this all into one connected image, which I think helps. So what have we got? We've got one with a bird on the front, a gold closure, a label, some painting in the blues and greens that are then on the collage on the inside, and that tucks under. And then we've got one here. Let's just tidy up the edges quickly, cut them off. Just feels nice as well, in full flow. And on the inside here I've got a number of those images. I really like that. And of course this opens up, and this one I will add a thread to. Get around the front. How are we doing? How are we doing using these papers? Making 6 embellishments for Barbara's folio. I hope this is okay, Barbara. What do you think? How am I doing? Let me know. So the next thing I'm going to do is make a little journal out of our collage page, which has dried, and I was originally thinking I would need to sew around this just to keep it really firm, but with the extra bit of paint on it, I'm not convinced that I need to do that. It does change the character of it. So what I think I'm going to do is carefully tear this out and then halve it, fold it over and make it into a little book. And I've just pulled out a few little bits of book page, some things that will act as pages to go in a journal. So I've got another bit of the paper on my desk, and I've intentionally chosen a piece which is not repeating what's on the cover. So I don't want to see the cover, open it and then see this piece again. So I tore this off at the lower half so I get the check, but I get the greens. I really like that. And then I've just torn and folded a few other book pages. I've got a page from a Shakespeare book, and that's been made into a little pocket. I've just glued that up, and a little bit with some manuscript on, so that can go in there, and maybe another of those, and I think that's enough because this needs to be relatively flat. So I'll have those on the side. I'm going to be brave now and tear this out. We'll see how we do. And I've not made a journal cover, a little journalet, using one of these glue book sheets before, so it will be interesting to see if it works. I said I was a bit nervous at the beginning, and this is one of the reasons. I'm definitely trying new things as I go through, but it's all the fun of it, isn't it? Let's see how it works. Okay, we're getting this out without completely destroying the book. Happy with that. There we are. So I want to cut this, and I think I want plenty for my journaling cards. Let's be brave. Oh yes, happy with that. And it's only going to be a little notebook. Fold that over, give it a squish, and I quite like these tatty edges. So just being careful because this has been collaged. So I'm just running my thumb down slowly. There we go. And remember we put a sentiment in really bold black, so that works. What it is shouting at me to do, if it will run it through it, is just round the corners. And I'm going to take my little pages inside, make some holes in here, and then just sew it in. I'll make some holes in the centre of this, just using this. It's a bit rough and ready, this booklet, and I think that's partly the style of it. It isn't meant to be a very tidy little notebook, and it'd be something that you could use to either rip up and use as collage yourself, or you could collage onto it and then you could rip it up, or you could just collage onto it, or you could stick extra pages on top and write in it, all sorts. I just think they're super cute and a lot of fun. And these will have fold out pages too, so you see we've got something we could put in there, and then as we turn the pages, because these sheets were long, you've got pulley out pieces like that, which I really like, something interactive. So I just need to sew it in. 1, 2, 3, and our pieces of ephemera are coming together. And there we are. Nice and squidgy. Just tie that off. Like that. So I've got a little booklet there using the papers and having fun. There you go, to fold out. So that is our little step 4, a little journal from the glue book page, and I'm just going to make a few little notebooks with some of these other pieces of distressed ephemera with staples and washi tape. So let's have a go at that. So in one of my other project baskets, I have permanently some torn up pieces of paper, all sorts of paper, and I do love tearing up paper and putting great wedges like this together. So I'm going to raid this and just convert a couple of these beauties into little notebooks in a similar way. So I think they're only little, I might have to trim these down. I just need to pick about 5 or 6 of these sheets, and I want a variety, and that's what I have ready done here. So I think I'll have the blue one because that works well with the colour. Just seen a gorgeous font, very nice. Have some of that. And again, these would be great as little collage sheets or booklets to write in if you wanted to. You've got, oh, there's a lovely font there. And I need a few of each. Ooh, some with music, always a good thing. A couple of those. Sizes don't matter too much. I tend to tear them to be about 3 inches by 4 inches. I think a bit, oh that's lovely, I think that's a bit of Artie Maze. Let's have a bit of that. Oh, I've got some lined paper and a maths formulae. How about that lot? Maybe a bit of scrapbook paper and a bit of plain paper. That works well. So I'll just take, oh, yep, love it all. Love it all. That's got great font on. Right, stop. Desist. Cease. Pause. Let's just turn these into something interesting by literally going to grab a few different ones, line them up, maybe 5 or 6, be about right. Oh, gorgeous. I love the variety. We've got a number of different little beauties here. And there's that gorgeous font at the front. Okay, I've lined them up at the top left. I'm going to find my stapler and staple them. This can go on the front, there. Staple, staple, staple. And I'm going to cover that with washi in a second. So I'll just do one more. So just mix it all up. 2. I like the one with the flower. There. A bit of dictionary, some lined papers. This one's great because it's also in that blue colour. I'm wondering if this one I even leave sticking out. Not sure. Choices. That could go there. What do we need? Maybe that one. Go at the back. And I'm going to grab a couple of very nice officey style washi tapes. Again, I think these are Stationery Pal, so do look to see if there's a discount code down below at some lovely items on Stationery Pal. I think I will trim this one down. I'm going to do it by tearing because I don't want a straight edge. I'll quickly do that. That's so much better, and the torn edge works. I like that. I can see just a little bit of that gorgeous book page behind. This one I think can have similar treatment. Might need to do. See, so much of this just has to be ad hoc. I do try to plan to make my videos understandable, but sometimes you've just got to do what you feel. I like these out the bottom, so I'm going to add a washi tape across the top, roughly. I've chosen a wide one because that will give it more to fold over like that, and that can go on there. So we've made some little notebooks with staples and washi. I'm going to make a couple of journaling cards with the bottom of the glue book page, so let's have a go at number 6. So for the journaling cards, I'm taking inspiration from the little bird journaling cards that I did some time ago. I'm not going to paint any more on these, but I do want to halve them down here to begin with. So I'll just do that with my trimmer. And I've been quite lucky. I've got lined paper on the back, which is what I want because I want to add a few words of my own. And I'm looking at these and thinking I don't really want to put sewing around them. I do want to round the corners, so I feel like I want that to tie in with this. And we've got these images from the papers, and we've got some nice sentiments because we thought about where those were going to go. Okay, I'm going to put some faux stitching on. I'm aware that some of my projects I've been using a sewing machine, and we don't all have a sewing machine or have the time or the space. So sometimes a bit of faux stitching works well. So a line and a dot, a line and a dot. I wonder how the others are getting on and what they're doing. And if you have seen their videos when you watch this, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think and how awesome they are. I'm looking forward to visiting and watching them all. So I've got the front done. I am going to, before I add an eyelet, just add a few words. I've just put a poem on that I like by W.H. Auden, and I know it might feel a bit black or a bit dark, but it's one that I really like. So this is sent from me with love to Barbara for her folio. So I'll put W.H. Auden on there. Stop all the clocks, cut off the phone, prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone. Silence the pianos and with muffled drum, bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. You might know it. There's one. I'm just going to add another. So I'm going to add one other little bit of poetry on this one, and I'm going to do, because it's autumn and October, just a few words from John Keats, from the poem To Autumn. And you can have a dotted line, and I'm going to add an eyelet and a little bit of thread on each of these at the top left. 6 embellishments, 5 artists, 1 folio. Check out the other channels in this collaboration, and I hope to see you soon.